Here it is, Warlord Games Beyond the Gates of Antares, Strike Vector 1, the Xilos Horizon. This is the bigger two-player starter for Beyond the Gates of Antares. Obviously, this game is not a historical game, but I wanted to showcase it on this channel because the person who designed this, Rick Priestley, has designed a number of games that you may have heard of, including Warhammer 40k, Bolt Action, Hail Caesar, and Black Powder. And so, because he is the designer of this game, it's going to share a lot of bones with a lot of his previous work, more specifically Bolt Action, because this particular game does have the order dice system as part of the core of the rules for Antares. So I'm going to turn this around. This is actually a very heavy starter, and the only reason why I went for this was not just because Rick Priestley designed it, but because I got it on a huge discount, about 50% off from a local eBay seller, so I couldn't pass it up. So in this kit, you're going to get a 290-page full-color hardback rulebook, and that's pretty amazing. You're going to get quick start booklet, quick reference sheet. You're going to get an exclusive metal miniature, the C3 Strike Leader Kylek Atastron, and a number of figures, templates, order dice, as well as the pin markers and all that fun stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside. So a real highlight of this starter is the rulebook, and while most starters do come with the core rulebook, they don't usually come in hardcover, and this is what you get in this particular starter. It's pretty amazing. As you can see, it's very well designed and colorful and gives you everything that you need, including stats and army lists for the factions that are in this game. Definitely well worth the price of what I paid for this particular starter. Obviously, a hardcover rulebook will normally cost between $50 and $60, and that's pretty much what I paid for the entire two-player starters. Next up, you just have this little Warlord Games insert that kind of gives you info on the games that they have in their lineup. So next up is your quick start guide. This is just going to give you the most basic rules for Antares and how to play. If you've played Bolt Action, then you're going to know a little bit of how this game runs, because it does use the order dice system from that game. It's pretty much broken down as any other quick start guide, especially something that it shares with the Bolt Action quick start guide. You also have your build guide for your figures. This is for the GAR, and then this is for your Concord troops. So next up is the cardboard quick reference sheet that divides the core rulebook from all the contents of the box here, and this is very similar to any of the Warlord two-player starters that are out there. They have something similar. More specifically, Bolt Action has something very similar where it gives you a breakdown of the rules here. So now onto the meat and potatoes. As you can see, this is a pretty deep box, and it's filled with plastic. You're going to have your order dice, and you have colored die for each faction. The gray and the black one are for the GAR, and the olive green are for the Concord faction. So, all right, you get a number of bases in here, and I'm not going to spend too much time on that. The large bases are for your GAR, and obviously the 25mm rounds are for your Concord faction. You get your special figure. This is a leader or named character for the Concord faction. We'll take a closer look at that in a little while. And another thing that distinguishes this from other Warlord games is that it does use D6 and D10 dice, and these dice are quite beautiful in color. You got black and purples and whites. These are fantastic. So, all right. And obviously, you're going to have flight stands for your drones and other stuff here. So I'm going to actually pull out all the plastic here, and then we'll take a closer look at everything. All right, first off, you're going to get 6 sprues of GAR. You're going to have 3 for a battle squad and 3 for an assault squad, and they're all identical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each of the different sprues more closely. So this is for the battle squad. I'm going to zoom in here. The GAR use mechanized battle suits to come into battle. They're actually quite diminutive compared to humans in the game, so they use the battle suits to offset that. Their battle suits are quite powerful. and these form the backbone of their army. So let me just break this down a little bit. I'll take a closer look at everything. So I think these are different face or head options. You have a number of joints. You get another base right there. The main torso, as well as arms and all that fun stuff. So this is for Battle Squad. You get 3 of these guys. I'm going to bring this back out a little bit. And obviously, with the sprue layout, it doesn't look like it's going to be very hard to put together. So that's the Gar Battle Squad. So, and you get 3 of these. They're all identical. All right, next step. You get your Assault Squad. So I'm assuming that these guys are your more close-in fighting units. Let me flip this around and we will zoom in. So looks to be arms, maybe. I'm not quite sure. Again, this is all brand new to me. I just got into the system because it does share bones with Bolt Action. So pretty similar to the Battle Squad, but I'm assuming that this has less of a ranged attack option. This is something that we're going to find out in the rules as we learn how to play the game. So, all right, you get 4 sprues of the Concord Strike Team, and they are all identical. So we'll go ahead and take a closer look at one. So for one, I understand that Concord is the most advanced faction in the game. They are humans. They just have more technologically advanced vehicles and weapons and all that stuff. You get a number of torsos and legs, different backplate options and weapons. The thing that is interesting about the Concord is that they do utilize drones. So each sprue will have a drone that is part of that particular squad. So yeah, bring this around and we will zoom out. So again, you get 4 of these sprues. They're all identical. And yeah, that's your opposing faction in this box. All right, here's the limited edition figure that was included in the box. He is the C3 Strike Leader, Kai Lek Atastrin, and he would be a hero general figure for your Concord faction. I was really hoping that they would have something for the Gar in this set, but maybe the Gar are quite powerful, which is why you have less units on the board compared to the Concord Strike teams. Let me bring this up. Very nicely detailed white metal figure. And then obviously this part here is actually his arm. If I can get it to focus. Well, okay, so I can't really get it on the body, but close up, it's actually, his arm's actually holding a Gar dismembered head. So the Concord Strike teams are not messing around in this set. And then obviously you'll have a 25mm base for him. Another thing that Antares shares with Bolt Action are the pin markers. So if you've played Bolt Action, you'll be familiar with these. The downside of this is that they are numbered, as you can see there. Unfortunately, they're very difficult to see. And I honestly don't know anybody who actually used these pin markers in the way that they were intended by Warlord, where you would click this to the number of pins that you have. Normally use this with a multiple option of with an option of putting multiple pins on whatever unit that's pinned. But again, you know, it's not bad. I like that they're plastic or translucent plastic, and again, shares some ancestry with Bolt Action. So again, the order dice and the pin markers are very Bolt Action, and I'm assuming that this game is going to play like Bolt Action, but in a sci-fi setting. Lastly, you have a sprue of translucent blue tokens and templates. So I like that this is included. I'm not quite sure what they're used for, because again, I'm new to this game, but we'll be learning that shortly. And in any case, it's always nice to have tokens and templates and all that stuff, so that you don't have to source them separate from a 2-player starter. And there it is, Warlord Games Beyond the Gates of Antares, Strike Vector 1, the Xilos Horizon 2-player starter. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there is actually another starter, but it is not as large as this one. That one's more of an introductory starter to get you into the game. This is the full-on 2-player starter that has everything that you need to continue playing the game, as well as having more figures available in it. I like the fact that it comes with a hardback rulebook, which is not something that you normally get in 2-player starters, especially modern ones. But it is nice to have that. It's beautifully detailed. The layout is very nice, and it seems to be very simple to go through and be able to pick up the rules quickly. It has a nice art aesthetic to it. You get 2 interesting forces to play with. I feel that having the limited edition Concord figure as a general or leader should have been complemented with a GAR one, but I don't know. I don't know how much that will affect the 2-player starter, whether or not you can even use the limited edition figure in the quick start rules. So it's nice to have. Would have been nice if it was balanced out a little bit, or at least give something that would offset having a general on the Concord side, so that the GAR would be more equally be on more equal footing. But that's neither here nor there. Main reason why I got this game: shares bones with Bolt Action, designed by Rick Priestley. So I think it's going to be interesting playing Bolt Action in a sci-fi setting, and I'm looking forward to doing that. So anyway, that is it. If you like this video, go ahead and click like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I appreciate it if you would. Click the bell notification icon to get notified of all new Beyond the Gates of Antares content coming out of the channel, and then click the link in the description below to join our Discord server. That is the best way I can personally interact with you and chit-chat you about Warlord Games, Rick Priestley, and any other games that we cover on the channel. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more unboxing videos from Wargaming Noob Historical.